I put my trust in you, and I trust in our love. I put my trust in you, I put my trust in love. I put my trust in you, and I trust in our love. I put my trust in you, I put my trust in love.
Hello, friends. My name is Dane Miller.
And I'm Niall Spain, and we're your fuck buddies.
We are a dating and sex advice podcast where we take your sticky, sexy situations and turn them into sexy, sticky situations.
Simply put, we find questions either roaming the internet or from our wonderful listeners or from yourselves tonight. You'll notice there's some paper on the tables. Don't worry, we'll collect them later, and they're as anonymous as you want them to be.
Other things that we do here, there's also a QR code, which I believe brings us to the Instagram.
Yep.
At the end of the episode, we review online dating profiles as well. So if you want to snap a little screenshot of your dating profile and send it to us, we will critique that as well. We don't comment on photos unless you have an absolutely buck wild one you really want to show off. We just focus on
The text, yeah.
Really, that's what we're looking at. On top of that, if you share a picture of the show or a video of the show and use the tags or tag Black Sheep TO and our account FCK Buddies, you will be entered into a shot competition where we will give you free shots.
For your table.
For your table, yes. And it's easy. All you gotta do is share that photo of you guys having fun, of us, a video, whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter as long as you tag both it so that we can find it.
Yep.
Also, a side note, you might not notice this because they've been killing it back there, but our bartender called in sick tonight. So we have two strapping young men over there hustling for us. So go easy on them. They're killing it. We appreciate you guys. They came to rescue us because otherwise we'd be doing this show from behind the bar, making drinks ourselves, and you would all be getting shots of tequila.
Which also, you should maybe get. I don't know. You guys ready for a question?
Love it.
Hell yeah. We're going to start with this. This is by the user Troire Honeybee. My 23-year-old female boyfriend, 32-year-old male, told me I look like a sock. We've been together for 1 month, so it's very new. He is respectful, affectionate, super funny, kind, and for the first time in my entire life, I thought I found the one. I have to admit that my self-confidence is not always 100%, and he's sometimes clumsy with his words. We went to the bakery last time, and he told me a girl like her wouldn't be interested in a guy like me about the cashier. I thought it was a weird thing to say, but I didn't mention it at the moment. This weekend, we were scrolling on the lingerie website because he wanted to buy me a lingerie set, and he kept saying, "Whoa, they're super hot," or "OMG, sex bomb." And I felt uncomfortable, like, yeah, they're beautiful and they're models, but please, could you not say it every single time? Yesterday, I decided I was going to talk to him. I asked him to stop saying it out loud, what he thought about all the women he meets, because it makes me feel bad about myself. I asked him, what does a girl like her wouldn't be interested in a guy like you mean? And he said, well, pretty girls wouldn't be into me. And I said, so you don't think I'm pretty then? Because I'm into you. And that's when he said it.
Man, if the next words you're about to say out of your mouth is, you're not pretty, you look like a sock?
Compared to other girls, well, you look like a sock. I cried so much and my heart broke. I couldn't believe he said something like that. I sent him a text saying I wasn't sure I'd be able to pursue the relationship with him because of what he said, and he cried and told me he was sorry. I told him I needed space. I'll let him know in a couple of days. I know there are many women much prettier than me, and he's allowed to think other women are beautiful, but I feel so sad because I'm in love with him, and his words really crushed me. I'm not sure I can forgive him or forget what he said. Today, my self-confidence is at 0. I keep reminding myself I'm ugly whenever I see a woman walk past me, and I'm not good enough for him. Is there any hope for our relationship to survive this? I don't want to break up over a silly misunderstanding or just because he's a guy and he didn't mean what he said. It's very hard for me to know what my next step should be. Thank you.
Jesus. You've got to... Look, in questions like this, I don't believe in sort of... the same reason why we don't ask for pictures when we critique people's dating profiles, because I think, personality transcends physical appearance. But this is the kind of situation where it's like, I would love to know,
do you look like a sock?
How sock-like do you look? Like, do you have button eyes?
Yeah.
Are you
like
made of
almost
cotton?
two-dimensional?
Yeah. how easy is it to put my whole hand inside of you?
Then maybe that's it.
No, that's where we draw the line, sorry, guys. Okay. I'm just testing the water, guys. I'm dipping my foot in. I want to see where we stand. There's a lot of new people here.
Your full hand and your foot in now?
I guess.
It's a wild thing to say, and I do love like that she's like, he's just a guy and he doesn't mean what he says. What? Are we allowed to just call people socks now and get away with it?
I mean, I think that's male privilege, right? I think that's what we've kind of been fighting against for a while now. You know what? I appreciate that this person has the wherewithal to be like, she's not jealous that he finds people attractive, right? Like she says like, oh, hey, I know that like I'm dating someone who is going to find other people attractive. Mm-hmm. And that's not the issue. The issue is quite literally he insulted her physical appearance in a pretty heinous way. Like that's a pretty fucking wild thing to call someone you supposedly, one, presumably find attractive, because why are you dating them if you don't? And two, you're supposed to care about and therefore want to protect their feelings. Yeah.
Also, like, they say it's a misunderstanding and he's clumsy with his words, but it's like, there's no misunderstanding this. Compared to other girls, you look like a sock. Pretty girls wouldn't like me. That's pretty fucking cut and dry.
Yeah, I don't think there's like there's not a whole lot of subtext.
Unless,
okay,
he fucking loves socks.
How much does this man love socks?
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe his socks are real crusty, if you know what I mean.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe he has fond feelings of socks and being like, they're not lingerie, but they are what I want to come home to at the end of a night.
Literally.
Oh, come on. Setting the bar real low, guys.
Said Mr. Full Hand Inside.
Hey, look, I'm owning it. There is, I think, a time in every relationship where you realize that perhaps the person you're dating isn't on the same level of maturity and emotional intelligence as you, and you need to decide if, one, that's okay with you, and you are willing to be on the journey of both educating and dealing with the blunders, and two, if it's not okay, and just being like, I am a grown adult. I don't need to watch you blunder and have my sort of feelings and emotional state and self-worth be diminished while you figure out how to behave like an adult.
Yeah, that's fair. But like, did he just wake up from a coma? Because he also was like on a lingerie website being like, whoa, oh my God, like per picture.
This is why I kind of
that's
feel
not
like
surprising.
This man hasn't had a whole lot of like sexual activity in terms of the sense of like interacting with other women
that aren't socks.
That's kind of my vibe, right? Like where it's like has he never watched porn before? Has he never sort of watched a movie?
Hey, if the lingerie catalog blew his mind.
So I really do think, does it have their ages?
Yeah, it is 23 and he's 32.
Jesus. The only way I was going to let this slide if they were like 16.
Yeah, no.
This man's 32.
This man's 32.
My God, please run. There's no helping this person. I mean, there is. Everyone can learn. Everyone can change. We can all educate ourselves. But this person, I think, at this point in time, you, as a 23-year-old, like a 10-year difference-ish?
Yeah.
You do not have to take the brunt of this person's re-education of learning how to behave and talk to another human being.
Yes. Which, like, you wouldn't have to do anyway, but when he's this old, like, come on.
And we've talked about it before, where they're like, oh, hey, I love this person. Doesn't it also say they've only been dating for like a month?
Yeah.
Okay. That's an issue.
Just
all
run.
On its own.
Just run.
It's all on its own. But we do want to normalize. This is something we've been talking a lot about this year, and we want to normalize this year. It's one of our yearly goals of being like, just because you love someone doesn't mean you have to stay with them.
Yep.
It's a hard thing to call, but like sometimes the people we love are not the people we should be with or are healthy for us.
Yeah.
So you might have
sometimes
strong
they
feelings.
just fucking suck.
Sometimes they call you a sock, and you have to leave them. And I think that is the answer.
Yeah. The only thing I want to say very quickly is like, you say, oh, it's a silly misunderstanding, or because he's a guy and doesn't mean what he said. I don't think either of those two things, one, matter, or two, are true. Like, you don't get to just say what the fuck you want and not get responsibility from it. And two, it's obviously not a misunderstanding. You can break up with him. It's okay.
Yes.
In fact, you should.
We give you our full-fledged support in leaving this person. And hopefully going on in the future times and his future like relationships. I was going to say generations, and I hope this isn't a generational thing for this man's family. But yeah, move on, and hopefully he learns something from it.
And you probably don't look like a sock.
I would wager, unless some sort of crazy magical witch/fairy has enchanted you and you are in fact a living sock, you don't look like one. This comes from Gamer Cutie, and so I chose this one because it has a beginner tag.
Okay.
All the questions that we pull off of Reddit and the internet will have like flair, and they're tagged on certain things like boundaries or whatever. This one had beginner, and you just let me know if you think this is a beginner move.
Okay.
Is it possible to have nose in vagina and tongue on clit? For example, the woman sits on his face with his nose in her vagina and leads forward so his tongue can reach her clit. Is that a beginner move for you? Is that what you think? Is that like where you would start?
Wait, that isn't where you started.
That's not where I started.
So I always knew, it's the old adage, it's like, don't run before you can walk, don't use your fingers before you use your nose.
Classic, yeah. But
I just like, I would love to know, like, what happened here? Was someone just like, is it possible though? Or were they like, this is the thing I want? Or is it the thing they're planning? Or is it the thing somebody asked for? Like,
I think that's like,
what the fuck?
We
man?
talk about context a lot, and I want to know who this is for.
Yeah.
Right?
And why? Just why?
If my partner was like, hey, get that nose right on in there, I would be suspect, but I'd give it a go at least once just to, figure it out.
You got a nose how it is. Yeah, that was...
I'm going to find that person who's laughing at these jokes and ask them how much you paid them.
I do it for them. I couldn't not do that, guys. I need to know. Can we fucking message this person and be like, hey, why though?
Why?
Why though?
What's the point?
What the fuck happened here?
To answer your question, I think you would have to do like a 69 situation.
Yeah, they would have
right?
to definitely be facing, unless they were made backwards.
Unless you are an upside down face person. Yeah. And you could do it, but you're entering into the territory of... And again, we're not here to yuck anyone's yums. If you enjoy it, good for you. But 69 is arguably the worst thing in the world that's ever happened to sex.
Mm-hmm. That and shower sex.
Shower sex and 69. Stop doing it. No one wants it. and if you do like it, stop lying to yourself. It's a hoax. I just thought this was funny, and I just want to talk about it.
I guess yes. I love the beginner tag does add a lot of depth to it.
It really does, because I like that this person, I'm going to presume they're a virgin, just not that you have to be a beginner, but I'm going to assume it is, and I like that this is what's taking up the mental real estate in their head. They're not worried about performance or, lasting long or, what's going to feel good or nerves. They're just being like, what parts of my body can I get into specific places and still do other specific things? And good for them.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
You go.
Yes. But I think what I really want, why I brought this question is, and what I wanted to talk about is, I think when people are inexperienced, whether it's in sex or in like specific sexual acts or fetishes or kinks, it doesn't matter how much experience you have. If you're entering into a new territory, don't fixate on one specific thing, I think, right? Because
but what if he's got everything else down? And this is the only thing left. He's like, I know everything else. I've read the books, but none of them cover this for some reason.
This is the elusive trick that he's been chasing. This is his like prestige moment.
Well, he's like, why would they not mention it if it's not forbidden knowledge?
This is what Eve learned biting from the apple of Eden. This is what God didn't want us to know. We can move on. I'm done with this.
Okay, I go in here.
He's my paid plant.
That's fair. That one got him so good that it almost got me. My boyfriend, she's 22, he's 24, refuses to make noise in bed, but is very vocal playing video games. What can I say to him? Using throwaway because he browses Reddit. We've been together for 2 years. We have a great relationship, and I am content with most things in our life together. However, I have certain fantasies I've expressed to him before. I like it when men are vocal in bed, moaning or calling me names, etc. I've expressed these to my boyfriend before, and he profusely refused every time, saying it is ridiculous for a man to make noise in bed, and it is not manly. His words exactly. Recently, he got himself a new PC. I think it's a special one designed for performance in video games. I'm not so sure. He's been obsessed with it, and I am also
If
as
this
happy.
man is moaning, it better be.
I'm also as happy as he is. Maybe I can get something similar and play together one day. However, back to topic. I've been hearing him being quite loud and excited talking to some people. He told me it was his friends who already had good PCs, and my boyfriend can now join him. While on call with them, he seems quite eager and willing. I have heard him scream girlishly, almost moan, and even call someone daddy. I do not know exactly what is going on screen, but from what I can tell, he mostly plays a game where cartoonish-looking cars play soccer. He just seems to overly enjoy himself while playing this game. He usually moans whenever he scores a goal. The things he says are all I wanted him to say to me and do to me. Now he can do all of it without any fuss? When I asked him about it, he argued it was totally different from what would go on in bed. I fucking hope so. That's a lot of cars. He said it's normal because it is funny. I can understand if it was a joke for a time or two, but this started to become a daily occurrence. He usually opens calls by, "Hi daddies, ready for some gaming with your Pookie Wookie? For God's sake." How can I approach him on this topic?
Oh boy, again, there's a lot in this question where, like, I'm glad that he can do this bullshit, which I think every dude should be able to do with their friends, and be sort of like overtly sexual with them. I think that's a healthy thing to do with your male platonic friends. I think it helps break down barriers. I think it helps sort of remove the learned behavior of like being a macho guy and like we're just gotta locker room talk and all that bullshit, right? I think it's sort of the inverse of it. But the fact that he then, like, the second he puts down the controller, he reverts back to sort of like the misogynistic, the toxic masculinity, the sort of like men don't make noises in bed is wild to me. Like the fact that you can live in both camps at the same time, and it just really depends on who you're talking to and what you're doing. That like, and
Well,
granted,
like, let's be fair. She's his girlfriend, but they're a bunch of cars playing football. There's no competition.
it's true. Have you tried
Being a bunch of cars playing football.
perhaps being a car?
Yeah.
Get your coolest, sexiest Lightning McQueen cosplay.
Hell
Throw
yeah.
that fucking bad boy on. We finally get to know if inside the car is bones. We've all been thinking it, right? They're people.
What's their oil? Who changes it?
Is their engine their heart?
True.
What's their brain?
Do they bleed?
I spent a lot of time thinking about if I could kill Lightning McQueen.
Are their doctors other cars or human, like mechanics?
God.
So deep. Obviously your boyfriend is insecure about being vocal in bed. And I think his being like, oh, it's not manly, blah, blah, blah. Like, that might not even be something he believes. It might just be a thing he's regurgitating so he doesn't have to admit that he's scared or nervous or,
Yeah,
not that it makes it much better, but I do think, like, people can be nervous, people can be scared, people can be uncomfortable. He's not going about it the right way, but, like...
There is a vulnerability that you kind of have to... And it's something I worked on. Like, I've had, like... previous partners way back in the day when I first started having sex being like, I can't tell if you're enjoying things because you're like dead silent. And it is because, my experiences with like sex up until the point when I started having it were watching porn, where typically men are just silent dicks, right? Like they don't make noise. Like male vocal pleasure isn't something that you get a whole lot of. It's changed now, but it was something that like I never saw examples of, so I never thought it was something that A, women wanted, or B, something I could do.
Yeah.
So it bums me out because usually my first step is like, hey, talk to him about it. But you've done that.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's not.
Well, I think one thing here to look at is like, I know I joked earlier about saying, you're not a bunch of cars, but like it is a very different situation. You know what I mean? It's like being like, oh, I was at a football game and he screamed when someone scored. It's like, yeah, because that's very different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you should equate these things to like, oh, he'll be loud for his friends. Like, he's talking to them. He's invested in a different thing.
She
You know
does
what I mean?
say he does moan, though.
Hey, when you score, do you not?
It's fucking great.
2 hat trick. I don't know. I feel like it is so different, and you focusing on it is going to be harmful to your mental health and also maybe your relationship.
I think you need to double down on how important it is for you, right?
Yeah.
I think and we talk about it a lot, when you want to address a fetish or a kink or a sexual desire, it's easier to phrase it in a way that isn't, you're not doing this, rather than, this is something I really want.
Yeah.
And if you have a conversation and if like, think about like the way it feels, the difference between you going up and being like, you're quiet in bed, you don't make enough noise in bed. That feels accusatory. It's very quick to sort of like get your hackles up and get defensive.
You're on the spot all of a sudden. Yeah.
Whereas like if you phrase it being like, hey, I think it would be really, really hot if while we were having sex, you moaned in my ear or told me how good it feels, or, give him almost a script and being like, these are some things I'd love for you to call me.
Yeah.
And I think it would be really fucking hot. It would really turn me on. And that way you're sort of opening the door into, this is for me.
Yes.
And hopefully you can start chipping away at the ego that's stopping him from being vulnerable enough to make these noises.
And I think once that door's cracked, it's going to be easier. I think a really easy way to do this as well is, instead of hoping he just makes these comments or does these things kind of like of his own accord, ask him a question like, does that feel good? Or like, how does that, like, you can prompt it in the act, and like, even if he's just like, that feels great, that's something, right?
Yeah.
And then you're breaking that barrier and just like keep going and like, bring it up, let him know. As Dane said, the better way to have that conversation is saying what you want and like saying you'll find it really hot, not like you're not doing it.
Yes, and it kind of sucks because there is a small performative aspect. I would say once you get like an inch, once you start making progress, really buy into it, like really express how much you like it.
Yes.
I don't want you to fake anything. Faking things is the wrong way to go, but be sure to
positive reinforcements.
Yes, be sure to reinforce and be like, fuck, that was hot.
Yeah, the first time he does it, when you're done, be like, that was so fucking hot when you did that.
Yeah.
Even a thank you. You know what I mean? If they've gone out of their way to do a thing for you, like, don't just let it go under the radar, because that fucking sucks.
And then he's like wondering, oh, did I do the wrong thing? Did I do the right thing? Was that what you were looking for? Was it not? So the more you can reinforce and reassure, I think you start moving in the right direction, and then eventually you get into a habit and you get into a territory where you start breaking down walls, and it's not even an issue anymore.
Yeah,
you can just do it, and it happens.
Yeah, but also like the wrong move is to be like, well, you laugh like a girl with your friends. Like, don't. That's not it.
Yeah, you're not going to get anywhere with that.
I've heard you moan.
Do I have to drive on the ceiling and score a point from midfield to get you to moan?
That would be fucking sick,
It would be so fucking cool. We're going to do this. We're going to do this one.
Always reassuring when you say it like that.
I was going to do one question, and then I changed my mind last minute. This is... I don't know how to read this username. You are Nate Ho? I don't know. It's just a bunch of letters. I have extremely dry hands. What can I do to jerk someone off? I have an autoimmune condition that causes me to have dry everything. Eyes, mouth, skin. My hands are always rough and peely. I try to keep up with using lotion, but it doesn't always last very long on my skin. I want to become sexually active soon, and all this is weighing on my mind and making me insecure. But you pretty much have to jerk a dude off, at least to get him started, and I don't want to hurt him. I also don't want to risk using lotion right before, because I don't know if it'll cause a reaction. Also afraid that I'll constantly need to drink during sex due to heavy breathing. Is taking a sip of water abnormal during sex? I'm completely inexperienced, so I don't know.
Have you considered using a sock?
I know someone who would work like a charm.
They would fucking love it. I do appreciate that they have the wherewithal to know that if they fucking lotion it up beforehand, this could be really bad for that dick.
For someone who isn't sexually active, there's a lot of preempting thinking going on that I think, like, the knowing that, you know, if you have dry, rough skin, it's gonna feel unpleasant
Bad on
on
your
the
dick.
sensitive skin of a penis, and like knowing not to use lotion, like all these things are really, really good. So
this is like the yin yang of, can I put my nose in the vagina?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, this also had the beginner tag, so
This one I get.
This one I understand.
So lube. There's a custom-made thing for this. It is lube.
Yeah.
I don't know the degree to which your hands are coarse, so even with lube, that might be bad. So keep that in mind. I would also like, I don't want to give medical advice. I assume you've gone to see someone about this and have the appropriate medical lotion. If not, consider that.
That's what I was going to say. I would say, like, maybe make an appointment with a dermatologist to see if there's a medicated lotion that you can get to use beforehand to maybe suss it out. But if it doesn't,
because if you're just using store-bought shit, that's probably not what you need for this.
Correct.
I don't know. Not a doctor.
Now, there are also other things, like
the sip of water, Camel backpack.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Look like you're about to go on a fucking hike. Because if you're not fucking like you're going on a hike, you're not doing it
There's nothing more confusing than taking off all your clothes and then putting your hiking bag on.
Or always have it on, so you're always ready.
That's fair.
Have it underneath your clothes. A lot of people wear it like an outer thing.
Yeah.
That's for cowards. Wear it underneath. So at any moment, on a drop of a hat, you can be hydrated.
No one's going to give a fuck if you, like, need water, I think, depending on, like, if you're in the middle of it and you're like, hold on, and you go and you leave and you walk down the hallway and you go to the kitchen and that's gonna suck. But if you have, like,
you've got one of those fridges that have the ice and just like down the hall you do and it's just like, okay, if you know you need water,
if you have a fucking sneaky Gatorade beside the bed,
have a little
great.
something nearby. And it's, I don't think, if you do something with confidence during sex, I think you're okay. Let me tell you.
And if they start to look worried as you're drinking, just start to pour it on yourself or something.
Yeah.
You know? Always keep them guessing.
Never let them know your next move.
Yeah.
I think if you just reach over while you're having sex and grab a drink of water, and don't, like, as long as you're not like, oh, I'm really sorry, don't make it weird.
No, don't
just
make it
do
weird.
it. If you need a fucking drink of water, get a drink of water. You're working hard. Good for you. They should be honored that you're dehydrated for them.
And say that.
Yes.
Just fucking tell them.
Be like, I'm tired. I'm hot.
I'm making it work.
Let me get a drink of water.
It's a sideways hike. I need my Camel backpack.
I know we just said don't make it someone else's problem, but I think you could, in this case, make it their problem.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's going to mind. So, if it's really bad, sex gloves?
So, sex gloves is an interesting thought. Expand on that.
I'm thinking, like, you've just got, like, sexy gloves. They got to go past the elbow, because no glove under the elbow is sexy unless it's fingerless. These are the laughters of people that agree.
Okay. It's just crazy to me that you had that, like, locked and loaded. That, like, you've thought about
Hey,
this.
I'm flying by the seat of my pants, man. I don't know. Those are the only two gloves I know, other than, like, doctor gloves.
Those are sexy?
No, that's why I didn't say them.
Okay.
That was the first thought, and I aborted quick from that one.
All right.
Yeah, and I landed on, I think, like, the big, like,
Yes,
full,
like
you know.
the satin, like, sort of ball gown, Jessica
And also,
Rabbit.
maybe satin feels good. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't also, though. Especially with Lou. I don't know, man.
So,
Sex gloves. Look it up.
Sex
Maybe it's
gloves.
a thing.
Figure it out. There is, I mean, like, I don't know about you. As long as you are careful and sort of judge the material correctly, a hand job through pants or underwear feels as like a way to get going. I don't think I'd want it to completion, but like a cheeky little like rub through clothing is nice.
Sure. Yeah. Again, though, like, you got to be careful because material, it could be worse than your scratchy ass hands.
It's true. Yes. So the reason I brought this, and I think we need to talk about it, is
That was a really mean thing to say about
that
their
was
hands.
a mean thing. I was trying to glaze over it.
It wasn't meant to sound that mean, and then it did. I'm sorry.
We play the hands that were dealt.
Hey.
Come on. And if you have a
Been
situation,
dealt scratchy ass hands.
if you've got a situation where your hands aren't super optimal
Mm-hmm.
for hand jobs, then just don't do hand jobs, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not obligated to do X, Y, and Z. It's the same thing as like if you have a severe problem with your jaw or something, you can't be like, well, I've got to like dislocate my jaw every time I want to give a blowjob. You just might have to find a partner who's willing to accommodate, and hopefully if they care about you and you care about your partner, you can find ways around it, right? Like there's so many people who don't have the ability to do certain sexual
X, Y, or
acts.
Z, and you just adapt.
You adapt. So if hand jobs aren't on the table, then that's fine. Don't do hand jobs. Perhaps blowjobs,
Sure.
oral sex, mutual
Posh wank. We've got a lot of questions about posh wanks lately.
Yes.
Put a condom on the dick, then jerk it off.
Exactly. There's tons of different options that you can do that don't rely on one specific act.
Yeah, and like if someone's getting some, they're gonna be happy. They're not gonna be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. They're gonna be happy.
They're
Once you
gonna be
don't
happy.
wound them,
Yes.
don't wound them.
So it all comes down to two things, where it's like confidence and communication. Let your
Yep.
partner know. Be like, hey, this is the situation. I'm sure they're aware of it, and be like, this is the reason I'm not doing this. I don't want to hurt you. I don't think it's going to feel good. If you have suggestions, I'm willing to try them.
Yeah.
But until then, let's find a solution. What can I do that will feel good? Here's what I would like to do. And will that work for you? Will you enjoy that? And then find a middle ground and move on. Don't
Yeah.
feel locked into normal or traditional
Yeah.
sexual acts if your situation isn't normal or traditional.
100%. And like maybe you're overthinking it. You might be like, hey, my hands are really dry, and they're like, you're fine. You know? And maybe they're willing to work with you. And like once you've broached it, if you start and they're like, ooh, actually, then cool, you both tried it. Once they're chill, you're chill, you can move on. But yeah, you're good.
I think that does it for our first set, friends. Thank you very much. We will be coming around. If you have a question, feel free to write it down on the old slip. We'll come around, we'll collect them, we'll do another round. We're going to take like a 10-15 minute break, so if you need to go to the washroom, grab a smoke, get a drink, order some food, whatever you want to do. Also, don't forget to post a picture and tag us, FCK Buddies on Instagram and Black Sheep TO.
We'll be doing the giveaway at the next break.
Yes, during the second intermission, we will do our shot giveaway. We will see you in about 10-15. We're back, baby.
We're back.
We're back. Thank you very much for sticking with us. I hope you guys had a chance to go to the bathroom, get a drink, do whatever you needed to do. I just closed everything on my tablet. Hold on.
Good job. Nice.
If anyone is wondering, for those with astute ears, yes, this is a 100% Pitbull playlist that I play in between acts and before and after the show. And no, I won't stop. And that's it. Do you have a question to get us off?
I'll start us off, then we'll delve into some audience questions. This one is nameless, I think, and I don't have the name, so whatever.
I love that Hamilton song.
Helpless?
Helpless? Yeah.
Does dating men help with dating women? A friend and I went to lunch together and had a great time and some funny conversations. Then we went back to school and just chatted shit about a bunch of drama. Whatever. It was fun and passes the time. But I've been thinking, if that was a girl I was with, wouldn't that have technically been a date? Now I'm thinking back on every one-on-one going out thing I've done with a male friend, and I'm looking at it through this same lens. Please help me out. I've never had a girlfriend.
There is nothing that pleases me more than when men realize that women are people. It makes me so fucking happy when people are like, wait, hold on a second. If I treat women like human beings, perhaps they would enjoy that.
The best part is, this person isn't even there yet, because he was like, if I did that with a woman, it would be date. But it's like, you could have a friend who's a woman.
Nope. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Eve ruined that when she took the apple from the tree. I don't know what that means, guys.
Does dating men help with dating women?
Honestly, so here's my honest opinion. Yes, it does.
For sure.
We've been talking about this for years in the sense of the best way to like reestablish or get your, as a man, to get your dating life kickstarted is to invest in your platonic friendships with other men. And to a lesser extent, women as well. But I think there's a special sort of like bond that when you find dudes who are on the same level as you and the same maturity level as you and are willing to reciprocate the care and affection that you require, then you don't have to rely 100% on your romantic partner to give you those things. Like
to be your be all and end all,
yes,
right?
Like if you're getting reassurance and companionship and affection and like all the good things, if you're getting that from your friends, then you can start looking at your romantic partners far more objectively, being like
for what they add and not just whatever you can get.
Yes, or the like those fundamental human needs of like attention and affection and et cetera, et cetera. If you start looking at people, specifically your romantic partners, and you're just like, oh, hey, sure, you're giving me physical affection or emotional affection, but you do treat me like shit. A lot of people...
You say I look like a sock all the time.
Yeah, a lot of people endure that because they're getting what they're not getting anywhere else.
Yeah, if that's your only source, you'll be like, okay, I'm willing to put up with so much more because I need whatever I'm scraping out of this.
Right.
As opposed to if someone's treating you like shit and you've got a bunch of good friends... You could be like, hey, one, you can talk to those friends and be like, this person's treating me like shit, and hopefully they'll be like, you're worth more than that. Two, you don't need them because you can just be like, fuck you, I'm going to go play Helldivers. Yeah. There we go.
Everyone knows. Everyone knows what's up. That's what gets me moaning in the night. It's fucking shooting a bug right in the face. Let's go.
But I think like the amount of questions we see, especially on Seduction, which is a subreddit from hell, or just like lonely men posting on Reddit, is like, I have a good job, I make good money, I go to the gym, but it's like, what do I do because I'm trying to date and no one will date me? And it's like, well, what about your friends? And they're like, I don't have any friends.
Yeah.
Okay, step one, get some fucking friends.
And it's something that I've witnessed, like as a bartender, I've noticed. After the pandemic, there was a huge shift in the way that men spend time together. Before, two dudes could sit at a bar for hours and they could be talking the entire time, but not say a fucking thing to one another. They would literally just sort of like parrot like sports stats and like just grievances about work and just almost like Mad Libs of like guy chat, and none of it would mean anything. And now I'm seeing a lot of dudes are actually sitting and like having conversations. They're not all, like, I'll be honest, they're not all fucking Nobel Prize Frost Nixon chats, but they're far more involved than they were.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of dudes during the pandemic and the lockdown, and
the ability to maintain those really like surface level friendships is gone because you couldn't just go to a bar.
Yeah, you're not drinking, you're not watching sports. It's just sort of like you're just there. And the only way to communicate or to interact with your friends was like talking.
Yeah. And putting in effort too, right?
So I think a lot of dudes realized during the pandemic of being like, oh shit, I have no friends. I have people I go to bars with. I have people I get drunk with. I have people I watch sports with. But none of these people, if like the chips are down on the table, none of them are coming to my rescue if I need it. And I think a lot of dudes are starting to sort of like reinvest, and that's why I think you're starting to see all these guys be like, wait, hold on, if I talk to a dude this way, I could also talk to a woman that way. And it's like this like light bulb moment for all these dudes, and you're just like, yes, yeah.
And again, that's why Seduction sucks so much, is because all their like advice is predicated on women aren't people. They are this unknowable, weird thing that you have to figure out this strange, inhuman, uncomfortable approach. And it's like, yeah, that's why none of you are fucking happy.
Yeah, I mean, we're socialized as men very early on that like every other dude is competition and every woman is a potential like sex partner and a puzzle to figure out, and we couldn't ever know anything about them.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how many fucking joke cards are there being like, everything a man knows about woman, and you open it up and it's nothing, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, well,
Got him.
it's so stupid.
Yeah.
But like, that's what we're told. Like, at least I think it's getting better now. But growing up, it was always like, you need to be jealous of every dude. Every dude is competition. Every woman, like, you need to impress, and like, but you'll never know what they're thinking. Don't ever talk to them.
God, no.
By God, like, never ask them a question.
God, no.
Don't treat them like a human being. They're also the enemy. Everyone is the enemy. And then we wonder why men are so miserable and useless.
So, yeah, like, in a way, this is good and positive and right. Because you're right. If you were there with a romantic partner, this would be a date. And it would have been the same kind of interaction with a little bit of spiciness thrown in. But, like, if you can do this with your friend, you could do it with a woman you like. You know what I mean? Things can be this easy. They can be this fun. And that's it. And I do hate that you don't ever consider the fact that you could have a woman friend. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. One of the most common questions we also get is like, how do you talk to women? How do you meet women? How do you approach women? And it's just like, hello is a pretty good way to start a conversation. Yeah. Like that's always had great success for me. And then you proceed talking to them like you would talk to anybody else. And just that simple step alone will put you so far up the ladder, because you're not being fucking weird, you're not being aggressive, you're not being creepy, and you're giving them the respect and like space that they deserve.
Yes.
And just already you're going to actually stand out and be memorable because you're not being a fucking like lunatic.
Yeah.
And you're not doing magic tricks and like using pickup lines and shit.
Yeah.
Like that's like
scooting
you're
a
good.
fucking blazer over their head and plugging them into a corner, which is actual advice we've read. I will say this was bad sex writing I was going to save for the show, and I chose something else, but it just really fits here.
Okay.
Shaquille O'Neal was recently interviewed, and he expressed that men should never share their emotions with women. He said, open up to a woman? Nah, never. You know why? No. I'm going to tell you why. Once you do, whenever anything goes down, they're going to throw it back in your face. That's why.
Thanks, Shaq.
Good job, Shaq.
Real slam dunk worth of advice there for us, big guy.
But like that's what you said crystallized in this person who has a platform who's like, no, this is a real sane, normal thing I should say.
And that's the thing. It's like it's always been like men are raised, at least I was raised in the generation of being like, everyone is your enemy and you can never relax. And it's so stressful, and it takes a lot of like re-educating and a lot of listening and a lot of making bad decisions and making bad choices and saying stupid things and doing stupid things to unlearn those things.
Yeah.
And I was very fortunate to have a lot of really great friends and a lot of strong women in my life who were like, you're being a fucking idiot. And I was very lucky for that. And I hope eventually a lot more dudes can get that sort of reinforcement and re-education, because it's only going to be more beneficial in the end for us.
Yeah. And hey, take your guy friends out on a fucking date. Why not?
Why not? Platonic like friend dates are the fucking best.
You want to pop one of these, or you got one?
Yeah, let's open a question.
That's some precarious balancing going on.
I know, I've got so many things just teetering on the edge, and I'm not just talking about my drink. My boyfriend won't stop liking other girls' bikini pics on Insta, and it's embarrassing because my friends have all noticed and told me. So cringe. What do I say to him? Am I insane? I just want to get this off my chest. Every time everyone's like, oh, they're liking all... How do you know?
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Is there an easy way to know this? Can we just get... If there is an easy way to see who's liking what, can we just get a round of applause?
Nope.
No,
I think
either you're all as useless on the internet as I am, or there isn't.
So back in the day, you used to be able to click on someone's likes, and it would show you everything they liked. But now they don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't fucking know. So the whole...
It's in your feed. So like, if you like something and I'm friends with you, it'll show up on my feed like a suggested post. Niall, like...
Okay, fair.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So I'm assuming this person must be doing it so much if, like, you're just like, why am I getting all these bikini pictures? Oh, Dave liked them.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, man. I always hate the, like, my friends have noticed or my, like, whatever, because, like, then unless it's, like, a huge issue, like, hey, my friend noticed you cheating on me yesterday, you know, it does kind of bring a, like, it kind of can derail the conversation, because then it's like, why do you care about what other people think? So, like, I think keeping it about you is far more important than starting with, like, oh, my friends have all noticed. I do think it can be a point being like, it is also embarrassing because my friends have all noticed. But I think you start with, like, your grievance and be like, hey, I'm feeling insecure about you doing this. Why? And I guess it also matters, like, is it all your friends' bikini pictures, or is it, like, models?
That's I think there's a distinction between liking professional models or, like, influencers' photos and liking your friends' sexy photos.
Yeah, if, like, Claire has 30 pictures and 3 of them are bikini pictures and he found each one and was like, yeah, Claire.
Yeah.
And then he moved on to Sarah and he's like, fuck yeah, Sarah, you got 2. Like, that's
Can
definitely...
you hear him saying that in the next room? Because I think that's also a problem. I think there are 2 things. One, I think it really does depend on what kind of bikini pics they are liking.
Yes.
And 2, I think it matters why it bothers you.
Yes.
Right? Is it jealousy? Because you're allowed to be jealous, but I think also people are allowed to consume the content they want to consume. I think there's a level of, like, is he then allowed to go through all of the pictures that you've liked and see if anything piques his insecurities, right? Like, I think there is a weird line that social media has introduced into relationships where it's like, if a picture of Henry Cavill appears on my timeline, I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to like every single one of them that appears on my timeline. I don't think at that point in time, like, a partner should be like, hey, I've noticed you liking a lot of Henry Cavill pictures.
This isn't even a question we got. I just wanted to bring this up.
This is an intervention of me liking Henry Cavill.
The audience
pictures.
has noticed that you've been liking a lot of Henry Cavill, and we kind of collectively wanted to ask you to keep going.
Yeah, why would you not?
Yeah.
But, like, I think it's like, where is the line between consuming content that is constantly being beamed into our brain and content that you're seeking out for ulterior motives? I think it gets into a really murky quagmire of ethics, of being like, if the algorithm is showing me bikini photos and I've liked a photo, I've liked another, it takes literally no effort to do that, right? And am I going to remember that photo that I liked?
Probably not.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. It is a weird one because, like, again, no one's going to be Instagram police and be like, oh, this is okay, they're wearing something revealing, but it's sports attire. This isn't because now they're in a bikini. This is because, you know, like, I don't think there's a way you can get through any kind of conversation mediating someone's intake like that without just devolving into madness.
Yes.
If it is he's being creepy with, like, your friends' pictures, I think that's a conversation you can very easily have.
100%.
If it's just that you don't like being with someone who's going to like anyway revealing pictures on Instagram, then maybe this isn't the guy for you, because clearly he's into it.
I think it's twofold. I think you're 100% within your right, if anything ever makes you uncomfortable, to voice those, right? To tell your partner, being like, hey, a lot of my friends and myself have noticed you liking a gratuitous amount of bikini photos, and it's starting to make me feel very insecure. And be honest with him and yourself why it bothers you.
Yes, and I think that is key. It's like, you don't want to go into this conversation not being able to explain where you're coming from, and being able to explain where you're coming from is going to do you and him so much more in terms of, like, clarity and, like, arguing or talking about what actually needs to be discussed.
Yes, because if you come up to them and you say, hey, I've been noticing you liking a lot of bikini photos. Okay. Like,
stop.
Is that the conversation that you have?
Yeah.
And it's like, you have to then be like, it makes me feel uncomfortable. And if he's like, why? You also then need to have a reason. If it's like, hey, well, these women don't look anything like me, and it's making me insecure about my body, or it's making me insecure about what you find attractive. It's making me whatever. And hopefully, at that point in time, he will have the intelligence to reassure you.
Baby, compared to other girls, you look like a sock.
Yeah.
What if he's just liking a bunch of that one guy definitely sock pictures.
So I think you need to express why you're upset about this. And then, again, another one of my missions for this year, don't be afraid to ask for reassurance. If he's liking all these photos, be like, I need to know that this isn't, like, you're not just biding your time until you find someone who looks like this.
Yeah.
Or you wish I looked like that. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm feeling. And hopefully, and be like, I need to know that that's not what you feel. And then gauge his reaction and then figure out what you want to do because of it, right? If he's like, well, yes, they're all hotter than you, and I wish you looked like that, then he's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
and you
sucks.
should be like, hey, go fuck yourself. I'm going to find someone who finds me hot and not compare me to people.
Yeah.
If he's like, hey, I'm really sorry, I'm just really like, hot women are hot women, they pop on my feed, I like it, and then I move on. Mm-hmm. I think at that point in time you have to sort of like, and hopefully he'll be like, no, I find you very attractive, I'm with you for a reason, blah 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 blah. So you need to gauge like the reaction, but you do need to talk to him about it openly and honestly and not accusatorily.
Yes. And then if you're unsatisfied, you can always move on, or hopefully you guys will come to an agreement.
Yes.
All right, got another audience one here. I had an ex-girlfriend who constantly needed reassurance that I wouldn't leave. To me, it made me feel like she was questioning our relationship. What advice do you guys have for this kind of situation?
I mean, I just talked about the importance of reassurance, but I do think
you can do too much.
There is a limit.
Yes, for sure.
Everything in moderation. Right?
Yeah.
I think there is a limit to everything that you can do, in the same way that, like, I think if you have a high libido and your partner also has a high libido, I think there is still the
physical limits there.
Yes, and I also think that, like, every now and then people just want to, like, not, right? So it's like the same way in this, where it's like if every day or every couple hours or every time I do something that triggers an insecurity, I have to assure you that I'm not going to leave you.
Yeah.
That takes a strong emotional toll on your partner as well.
And it is, I can also understand why it would be like, it does make it feel like they're questioning your relationship, because it's almost like, how can I fucking convince you?
Yes.
You know what I mean, like, I've said it over and over again. It's like, why do I have to still, So I do get that. I think on their behalf, it's obviously stemming from a place of insecurity or maybe like an inability to communicate what they're actually worried about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because clearly you're not reaching, or they're not reaching, like, a point where they can let go of whatever it is, which isn't on you unless you call them a sock every time they come and talk to you. But, I think the thing here is there is an insecurity, and I think it's more than okay for you to be like, look, we've had this conversation multiple times, and, like, I love you, I'm not leaving you, but, like, I want to know why you have to keep bringing it up, because, like, am I not reassuring you in some way? You know what I mean? Be it the conversation we've had or how we go through our day-to-day lives. Like, is there something I'm doing that's making you question this? And if they have, like, a fair point to bring up, discuss it. If they don't, then you can be like, okay, if that's the case, why do you keep bringing it up then? Because it feels to me almost like you're suggesting that there is.
Yeah, I think there is a time and a place, and I think there is a healthy way to challenge your partner's insecurities. And I think after you've done this sort of song and dance a number of times, if there is a repeating issue where you resolve it, and then another day later you have the same conversation and resolve it in the same way, and then keep doing this cycle of same problem, same resolution, same problem, same resolution over and over and over again, then like something isn't working.
Yes.
Either the problem isn't being explained correctly or the solution isn't satisfying.
Yeah.
And you need to figure out which one it is, or both of them, if it's a whole situation, and then have a conversation. And as Nell said, just be like, look, is there something I can do to actively reassure you in our relationship? Is it a matter of just like when I wake up, say something nice about you at the start of the day? Because that's something easy and actionable and something that you can do and just be like, great, that puts my anxiety at rest. But
not that you need to do something like that either if that's not something you're comfortable with. Just to get that out there.
I think there is also a conversation to be had where you can say to your partner, be like, look, I understand that you have an insecurity and you're worried about this, but this is also taking a mental and emotional toll on me. It's quite a, it takes a lot out of me to constantly be concerned that anything I do could be misconstrued as me not being interested in you or me not caring about you.
And also just like it takes an emotional toll to be like, oh shit, like if they're asking me this, are they worried? Are they unhappy? Like that sucks to think, right?
And I mentioned it earlier where I think it's really important. One of my yearly missions is to reiterate the fact that just because you care about someone doesn't mean that you should be with them. And if this is one of the situations where this person is constantly needing reassurance, perhaps there's a lot of work they need to do on their own time, whether through therapy or self-reflection or whatever. They need to maybe separate from you guys for a moment and go do a thing, and you guys live your own individual lives. Like no one should be waiting for anyone.
Yeah.
But if there's a problem that persists and no solution sates it, then there's much deeper work to be done, and you can't do that while persisting in the cycle of the problem.
Yeah.
I think that is counterintuitive to solving it. So you might have to be like, look, I care about you deeply, and it sucks because this will sort of be like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Right?
But
And
at the same time, you can't live in that. Like I've had exes do similar things where it's just like the same question, the same problem, and it's like you do your best to solve it, and then it just rears its head, and it's like those first 10, 12 times you're earnest, and then it's like, I can't fucking keep doing this forever.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's you just have to be as kind and as caring and compassionate as you can. Just be like, look, I understand that, like, I do care about you, but right now that doesn't seem to be enough.
Yeah.
And I need you to go explore what would be enough in order for you to one, accept the care and love that I have for you, but also to accept sort of like anyone's care and love, because like it doesn't really do you any good if I can finally convince you at the end of the day that like I care about you, because if we do break up, then what you were worried about has come to pass and will just compound onto the problem, so that the next person you have to deal with, you'll be like, well, my last partner, I was worried they were going to leave me and they left me. Mm-hmm. And then then you start from ground zero. If you don't fix the foundation, you can't build a house.
For sure.
So I hope that helped.
Quick
whoever
one?
you are out there. Yeah, let's do a quick one.
You got one? You want me to hit you one?
Hit me with them.
This is by Lazy Daisy. Am I cheating on my boyfriend? I, 27-year-old female.
I love these questions because the answer is almost always so obvious. It's either yes or no.
A quick vote. Do we think it's going to be a yes or a no?
If you think it's going to be a yes, round of applause.
Okay.
No faith in humanity. I love it. Let's go.
I, 27-year-old female, have been with my boyfriend, 30-year-old male, for little over a year. From the very beginning, I knew he was jealous. I thought it was a wound he needed to heal, since he was married before, and it ended because his ex cheated on him. I always had guy friends, some I've known since high school, and he seemed uncomfortable with that. I thought it was no big deal, since I hang out with them maybe once every few months. Among these guy friends is a coworker who texts me regularly. As of recently, I have hung out with this coworker more to celebrate work birthdays outside of work. There are group events, and they don't happen very often. I've even turned down outings with this guy where I know we'll be alone, because I know it'll make my boyfriend uncomfortable. However, my boyfriend has been expressing his discomfort with me having male friends more and more. Recently, I had a very old friend come from out of town, and I had dinner with him. Again, my boyfriend voiced his discomfort. He says anytime I hang out with a guy friend, it's low-level infidelity, because I'm putting myself in a situation that can lead to more.
I bet you all feel like idiots now, don't you?
He's never explicitly told me not to hang out with them, just how he feels. Am I cheating?
Okay, let's do a reevaluation. Who thinks this is cheating? Yeah.
So glad nobody clapped.
I would have really loved it if at just at the end they zagged and they were like, and then I fucked him. I mean, this is a quick question, and it does prove my question right, where the answer is almost always very obvious. This is no, having a male friend or a friend of the opposite gender or the gender you're find attractive,
to, yeah.
Whatever, is not cheating.
I love the rationale of well, you're in a situation where something might happen. Dude, that's every situation.
Yeah.
That's life. Unless you're in a room by yourself, locked in there.
Hey, I could still make it happen.
Even then, you got two socks.
Exactly. I've got 2 ex-girlfriend on my feet right now. Future ex-girlfriend, sorry. I haven't dated them yet.
Yeah, okay.
But leave me alone in this room, and I just might.
For this next break, if Dane disappears...
Yeah, if you could all just fuck off for, like, 3 minutes, we'll probably be okay.
We're going to pop into our second break here. It'll be the last 10 minutes before we deliver those shots. So get sharing. And if you have questions, we'll be around to look at your table and see if they're there.
We'll scoop them. Also, don't be afraid to, if you don't have a question, if you have a friend in a situation that you would like to get advice and like...
Or if you're just curious about what your nose can do.
Yeah, if you want to know where you can put your nose... let us know. We'll be back in about 10-15 minutes. We're going to do the shot competition, so you have about another 5 minutes before we do those. We will see you in 10 or 15. Oh, Lord, we're back.
Oh, shit.
We've got 2 audience questions. If for whatever reason you feel inspired during this last set, this is your last chance to get a question up to us. If you're like, oh, shit, I just remembered a question that you had, feel free to just run it up to us and we'll do it. We've got our winners at the front row over here with the shot competition.
Those didn't last even 1 second, so...
And that's the way it should be,
Yes.
damn it.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who shared.
So let's do a quick... this is also the time where we do Tinder profiles or online dating profiles. So if you want us to review your online dating profile, it could be any platform. We don't care. As long as you give us the text. We want to see the text. We will review it, send it to our Instagram. Just scan the QR code. If you don't have it, it's FCK Buddies on Insta. Let's do it.
You want to go first?
Sure. Tomorrow is International Women's Day, and I'm not prepared mentally, physically, or spiritually for the amount of pegging that's about to happen. Any lube recommendations?
Happy fucking International Women's Day is all I can say.
Yeah. Is that a Deadpool reference?
I hope so. Lube references.
I've got 2.
Yeah, go for it. I was trying to remember the people that gave us the gems.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's 2 Toronto-based lube companies that I really enjoy. One is Gems, which I believe is a female-owned sex company.
They're very cool. They sent us a bunch of treats for a live show a while ago,
Yeah.
and every interaction with them has been wonderful. And not only do they provide good gear, they also are activists and actively work towards making sex healthier and better, and it's great.
Yeah,
so,
they fight for
shout out to them.
curriculum changes. They fight for sexual parity. It's great. So Gems is an excellent company. Again, Toronto female-owned company. And the other one is Fuckwater.
Which with a name like that,
Fuckwater is an incredible. It's great lube. It's a water-based lube, and it's available at pretty much. I don't know if it's still available.
to be fair, I'm gonna come clean. I fucking hate them. They stole our name. Before I was gonna call the podcast Fuckwater, and then they got there first.
It was going to be our personal branded lube, but they got there first.
Now we gotta call it Fuck Goop.
Yeah.
And that's not as good.
Fuck slide. I'm sorry. Those 2 words should never be said.
So those 2, I think, local, they're good people. They do good shit, and they're reasonable. And also, I know it doesn't matter, but the Gems branding is fucking good, so it just looks good.
That's the thing. It's
I feel like if you pull it out, it's damn.
I'm sure
That's,
also...
that's a mature sexual partner. That's not someone pulling out his,
yeah.
I don't know.
The Gems lube bottle feels good.
It does.
The plastic that they use is
We're not
nice-
sponsored. I wish we were. We're not
Yeah,
making money off them for this, so we should stop talking about their
We
good
should.
material. But yeah, check those out.
Yeah.
I got one here.
Cool.
Is it always a bad idea to date a superior, i.e. a tutor, supervisor, team captain, etc.? Are there any exceptions?
I love that you're the superior. All the things in here aren't the traditional
Typical,
like,
yeah. Tutor and team captain are fucking wonderful.
I guess supervisor is the closest.
Yes.
I was gonna say like a boss, teacher, but like tutor, team captain.
team captain is great.
This is some this person is stuck in like a CW teen drama.
Yes, for sure.
100%.
Like tutor is weird because I think in a lot of cases there's like an implied age gap. So if you're like a 16-year-old getting tutored for your math and they're 20, yeah, that's a fucking bad idea and it's illegal. You
Yeah.
know? But if you're like, oh, I'm learning D&D and my D&D teacher is also 25, I don't know, you're fine.
Yes, I mean we talk about it a lot, especially when it comes to like age gaps. A lot of people ask like, how old is too old or how young is too young, and like a lot of it comes down to maturity and power dynamics. I think the likelihood of dating someone who is in a position higher than you, the likelihood that something unpleasant is going to happen is far more likely than any other scenario. In the sense of being like, oh, like if you're dating your boss, any promotion you get, especially if you're a lady or femme presenting, like you're going to be accused of being like, oh, you slept your way to your top. You didn't earn, like all the merits of your hard work are now going to be diminished into the sexual relationship you have with that person.
And you might even second guess it too. You might be like, ah, shit, is that the only reason I got it?
Like anytime there's like, if you're dating your boss in a more casual setting, being like, oh, are you getting better shifts than everyone else? It doesn't matter if you're the hardest working person there or the best bartender or the whatever.
Or do they then like pass you over so they don't look like they're being like showing favoritism?
Exactly. And then there's also the risk you run of, oh, maybe this person isn't as good as you may think they are, and now they can use their power dynamic to manipulate you, to gaslight you, to put you in a bad situation as well.
Or maybe they just turn shit when things go wrong. And then if you break up, your career's fucked.
Yeah. So I think it's always better to err on the side of caution and avoid situations like, if I had to choose a way to get home, and one way is a well-lit street right down to my house, and the other one is a alley filled with a dude like flicking a butterfly knife.
But that alley will get you laid at least once.
The man with the butterfly knife will fuck you.
Hey, he's good with his fingers.
Incredibly dexterous.
Because that's the thing, like it's not like a clear street that's dangerous versus a clean one. It's like there's curves. I don't know what's around that corner, but the first 5 feet, there's sex.
Yeah.
Like that's why you go down that road, right?
That's the thing. It's like that guy with the butterfly knife looks like Henry Cavill.
Oh, hey, now I'm back in. It's that guy, and he looks scary, but it would be kind of rude not to because I've been liking his pictures for months.
This guy's gonna be like, really, man? I came and stood in an alley. I waited in an alley for you for hours. So you have to weigh the pros and cons, and I think almost always the cons in this scenario are going to far outweigh the pros.
Yes.
Because the way I can see it is like the pros are you really like them and the sex is good.
Yeah.
Cool. The cons are like your life could get fucked up. You could lose your job. You could get, passed over for promotion. Like the list of cons is a very, very long one in terms of like, I'm pretty sure you could probably find someone who you know what I mean? Like could fit the other categories that don't also have the
There are a
cons.
lot of other tutors out there. Find an ugly one.
Find another team captain that's not on your team.
Okay, but that causes drama in the team. Have you never watched One Tree Hill?
That's what I'm saying.
It's almost the worst option here.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess.
You're there, you're looking at Nathan Scott. Also, Nathan Scott, you're going to turn away from that? I don't know, man.
Is that a character name or an actor name?
You know.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I think if you want to do it, go in with your eyes open, knowing the risks and knowing that you made that choice, so that when it goes bad, you can be like, yeah. Because it does make it feel slightly better when you're like, I kind of thought this might happen.
Yeah. Be willing to accept the consequences of your actions. Weird.
What the fuck?
What happened there?
Damn.
I was going to say, speaking of eyes open.
I was saying, speaking of consequences of your actions.
Okay, well, let's do mine. Mine's real quick. This is from Unstable Cat 1803. Genuine question. What is the normal thing to do? Eyes open or eyes closed during sex? If eyes open, am I supposed to be making eye contact or looking elsewhere? I've found I naturally tend to close my eyes or soften my gaze as I find it more relaxing, but then occasionally opening them and making eye contact to check in and be present with my partner. Is this normal? I haven't had sex in 5 months and I'm aware this sounds silly. I've just recently started overthinking about this.
Overthinking, really?
No, you're thinking the exact right amount about this.
I think it is so, like, one, I think if you do too much of either, real fucking weird, right? Let's get that out there. If you're too eye contact or just always eyes closed, something's wrong, right?
And it's not even just eyes closed. They're like, should I look elsewhere? I like the idea of you having sex with someone and they're like a dog that knows they've done something wrong, where they're just kind of like looking everywhere but you.
Yeah.
I think that's the worst option.
I don't know, man. Like, eyes closed sometimes. Like, if you were just eyes closed. And the thing is, it's also heavily position dependent.
Sure. If we're having sex doggy style, I don't really care. Do whatever feels good.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I can't see your face.
Yeah.
But if my eyes are closed, it's kind of weird. For the whole thing. Like, I'm not talking like I close them because I'm really enjoying it. But if they're just closed the whole time, you're not going to know. But it is weird.
It's true.
Right? If there was a mirror and you saw that, you'd be like, he's going to kill me or something.
Yeah, what is he doing?
Right? Like, if I just, like, the second she turned around, I was like, oh, thank God. Like, and just never open them?
Yeah.
That would be terrifying.
I would just constantly think you're Cyclops from the X-Men if
Yeah,
you do open your eyes during sex
bust.
and just fucking blow lasers.
Blow
in
my
your eyes.
laser load. Yeah, you need, like, a little bit of both. A little bit of both. Close your eyes, you know, it's almost like the physical version of what your man did by moaning to his friends on Xbox Live. You know, if you close your eyes, like, yeah, you're enjoying it. Nice. If you're just staring at me, no. But, like, if you don't look at me, bad.
And the thing,
Eye contact can be hot,
eye contact can absolutely be hot.
but not too much.
Not too much. And, like, it's all, you feel it, right? You feel
Yeah.
the vibe. It's like a give and take. It's a rhythm. It's jazz.
It is jazz.
It's eye jazz.
eye jazz.
I'm sure that helped someone out there. If
I'm not sure it did. It just sounds like you made a new app. Eye jazz.
fuck, I don't even. I'm just too busy thinking about eye jazz right now. As
Eyes?
someone who appreciates the physical form of the people that I have sex with,
What a normal way to say that.
there's
No, keep going, please.
no one's ever survived a sexual encounter with me with the way I apparently talk.
We got them, boys. Police bust in every window.
Yeah, I like you don't have like. There's a lot to look at.
Yeah.
People are like bodies. Humans are hot.
Yeah.
Right. There's all sorts of things, and as a straight guy, ladies have arguably probably a little bit more to look at. But I mean, like, a chest is a chest is a chest. I'm digging myself a hole here, y'all, and I know it. I'm looking for a rope, anything.
You
to get
find
me
people hot, and I think enjoying the hotness is a good way to give your eyes a break
Yes.
from staring into someone's soul.
If someone wants to just get an eyeful, like a full gander of this whole situation and enjoy it,
Great.
if you're not going to enjoy it, please don't. I don't want that.
Can we dive back? And I know this is a terrible thing to do for everyone. There was a question we had ages ago about someone who wanted to set up a series of mirrors so they could stare at someone's butthole
Yeah.
while they did stuff.
Uh-huh.
That's all I'm thinking of right now.
Cool.
We had they wanted to look at the butthole. They had mirrors. It was very weird. Anyway, so don't do that either. It was uncomfortable for everyone involved. I think there's a mix of both, and much like a lot of sex and dating, there isn't an easy answer. I can't say 10% eyes closed, 90% eyes open,
This
50% of eyes open.
describes the ideal situation of being like, I tend to close my eyes and soften my gaze as I find it more relaxing, but then occasionally open them to check in with my partner. Yes, you've described being a human.
Yeah.
You've done it.
What do you think
Stop
they mean
freaking
by
out.
soften my gaze?
Just dead in the eyes. Just full.
Just like looking and then like... And that's it?
I hope they don't make that first face. You were so angry.
Yeah, well, you need to soften, which means you start hard.
I think
You can't soften something that's already soft.
You can soften a gaze. Like, can you not? I know this isn't something everyone can
This
do.
is a terrible thing for an audio medium.
Yeah, but like, do you guys know what I mean when you can like blur your vision?
Yeah, but that's weird.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to look at my partner, then I'm going to make him go a little blurry, then I'm going to close my eyes, then I'm going to look at his dick.
I send them to Blur Town. That's what I do. That's my move.
Your eyes just unfocused. They're like, you good?
And then I like to just give them the old, I squish your head. I'm squishing your head. And that's usually how I finish. Should we? You've got a question. Let's do a quick question.
I got one. I got a few. I don't know which one to go with. Let's go with this one. This is by ET 1132.
Okay.
Any tips on how to get laid in college without actually enrolling in college? I'm currently 23, live with my parents, have a decent job, and I have a car. Currently, I'm not getting great results from night game, which has been the only way I'm meeting new women. But recently, my buddies in college have been swimming through poon like Michael Phelps. They're not even in fraternities.
Does Michael Phelps even still swim anymore?
He did, though.
He did. He was diving in that poon.
And they're not even in fraternities. I asked how they're getting the results, and they proceed to hit me with the same lecture my parents gave me on why I should have gone to college.
I love that this...
How cool are your parents?
Your parents are like, look, we don't give a fuck how dumb you are.
You're
We don't
get
care about
so
your career.
fucking wet.
Yeah, we don't care about your education. We don't care about your future. We just need you. Look, son, you're a disappointment. You're barely dipping your toes in the poon pool. And you're a disgrace to the Phelps name.
But at this point, I do not plan on going to college because I already have a set path / career and do not need a degree.
Should we guess he's a Twitch streamer? That's my go.
Something worse, podcaster.
Ugh.
However, no one laughed at that, and that really hurt. They're like, yeah.
I would rather someone
We came out of
look
pity.
at me and not be into it than what just happened there.
They looked at us and they weren't into it. I do still want to know if there's a way I could dip my foot or a whole body, lol, into the college social scene and at least somewhat enjoyed the same ease of access to new friends, fuck buddies, possible GFs, etc. as the students do without enrolling in college. And before one of you tells me to stop being a weirdo by LARPing as a student on campus, you can't not admit that running college game, especially in my current situation, is way higher ROI than hitting up some loud nightclub or trying to use dating apps when I'm average looking. Also, my buddies can't really get me into the college social scene either because they're not in any circles or don't go to parties like that. Anyway, would appreciate tips and advice on how to pull this off.
Didn't he just say his friends were swimming in poon pool?
I don't think his friends want him coming around. Like, oh yeah, no, we're in the poon pool, but like we can't bring you to our parties, bud.
It's more of a poon jacuzzi. There's not a whole lot of room in here for you, George Phelps. It's like my thing was like, just look, your friends are all sorry, my mind is racing a mile a minute because like I just keep thinking of like all the dumb things this guy said. One, I love how he's like, this guy's getting laid and they're not even in a fraternity. It's like, I don't know. Again, I've never been in a fraternity. I don't know if my college even had a fraternity. But I don't know, and this could just be the women that I'm friends with, but I can't think of someone who is currently less fuckable than a frat guy right now, right? Like I can't think of a demographic that women are more universally repulsed by.
Yeah.
And that, again, just could be the women that I hang out with. There could be a large group of women who are frat hoes.
So when I came here first, I went to...
I'm not saying women are hoes. I'm saying they are like a pirate ship on the poon pool, and they're saying, frat ho! I just wanted to clarify
I'm so
that.
glad you cleared that up. What are in those? Did somebody spike Dane's White Claw?
No laws, baby.
So when I came here first, I was in U of T, and they had fraternities. And when you went to a lot of the fraternity parties, it was them hosting them and then being angry that women were sleeping with people attending the party and not them. So, yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I think this guy doesn't know anything about university except for what he's seen in like
90s, 2000, early 2000s,
like old school. You know,
he thinks
great
that
movie.
It's going to be
probably
like accepted.
problematic now. I don't
Also,
know.
there's a whole movie that solves your problem, which is Accepted with
Yes.
the incomparable Jason
Long. Justin Long?
Justin Long. Thank you.
We were close.
We almost got there.
It was a long shot.
Where it's like you make a fake fraternity, so then you are in a fraternity.
It's not even, he makes a fake university.
Oh, he does make a fake
Yeah,
university.
which is my exact advice.
Yes.
Right?
Look,
Although then the power dynamic, we just answered that. That was the other one written after Tudor was fake university president. Who owns a I don't know.
the dean?
He's hired by the university. He doesn't own it.
Are universities a scam?
Yes.
Yes. I'm rewatching Community right now, so yeah. It's happening.
It's going to be fucking weird if you just start hanging around university or trying to go to university parties, not knowing anybody, not in the university, with no friends. What do you fucking do while being like, no, I did this because my parents said this is how I should get laid?
That's my favorite part of the question. I think the context here is really telling for you as a person being like, look, all my college friends, all my friends who are in college currently are getting laid like crazy. But when I was like, hey, maybe, invite me out to a party. Oh, we don't do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, do you have friends you can introduce me? No.
Yeah, it seems like you might be the problem. And college is not faking being a college, not going to fix that.
Man, I was really trying to pull a Taylor Swift lyric out of my ass there because it's you. I'm the problem.
Yeah,
it's you. And all I could think of is the song lyric that I'm incorrectly been singing for the past.
The sexy baby one?
It is the I had a dream that I was a sexy baby, which is not the line in the song.
You lied to me.
But it's all I can think about right now.
Okay. You're the problem, dude. I'm gonna leave because we gotta go to Tinder's. But
Yes. I think you
if
need
your
to-
friends won't hang out with you, why would random women?
Great point. And also, when you have the opportunity to do the plot of an early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s movie / sitcom, you fucking do it, you coward.
For us, please.
It's the same thing when people are like, oh no, I have two girls that I'm interested in. You date them at the same time in the same restaurant across each other.
Yes,
and you
with
change
costume
uniforms.
changes.
Yes, that's what you do, you dumb...
Sock.
Sorry, I got worked up.
It's time to review some Tinders.
Let's do it.
This is going to involve a little audience participation. We're going to read out a profile. You are going to clap, cheer, say yay if you would swipe or you appreciate it. You are going to boo if you think this person sucks shit, which, spoiler, some may. This person is 20. I'm not going to read their name for their sake. They're looking for, still figuring it out, about me. I spit on blind kids and tell them it's raining. If we matched, I swiped on you on accident. If I don't answer right away, I'm probably in jail. My two favorite things in life, gambling, getting pissed off.
Man, I was trying so hard not to laugh at that because it was a lot of terrible things, but that last line, man.
I fucking love getting pissed off. I might be in jail. Like, dude, you're 20. What do you guys think?
That's a good thing, right? We like booze because I love
only in this
profile.
Why?
If it wasn't for the blind kid thing at the start, man, I fucking like this profile. In the way that I hope it's a joke, because I think it's my level of like stupid.
It is so bad it sounds like it could only have been constructed as a fake profile.
And
however, having done this for so long,
yeah, I know. We're not lying when we say that there's a good chance that all this fucking shit has given us PTSD.
yeah,
Because it's fucking rough.
it's bad out there.
We literally don't know the difference between a joke profile and a real profile anymore because it's all bad.
Because none of them are fucking jokes.
And they all are.
This one is kind of a little rhyme. I'm gonna give that last one a -10, but
Tinder is my...
what? Is it another Taylor Swift lyric that you tried and failed?
No, I was going to say something that I don't think I should.
Well, that was great. This is also nameless. Her age is not on here, but she has written us a little song. 6'3", drinks on me. Over 6'1", let's have fun. Below, no.
Damn, as a short king, this hurts. Another blow to my self-esteem from a random stranger on
I love that she's like, those 2 inches really matter. Like 6'3", yeah, 6'1", I guess.
Well, I mean, arguably, I'm employed. I don't need you to buy my drinks. I would rather let's have fun.
You could probably have fun, but she also buys you your
It's
drinks.
like a cascading scale. So
I would
it's like,
assume
yes.
fun is also included in drinks.
Yeah, okay.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, we
That's
don't
fair.
like it.
It's pretty bad. I'm going to give it a 1.
Yeah. Jesus. I shouldn't look
You're not
at
meant to
your
read
screen.
these.
I know, I'm sorry.
This one is nameless, but the prompt is unusual skills. I can queef uncontrollably while standing on my head. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. 10 out of 10.
I don't know if I like the word uncontrollably. Right? Like, if you were like, I can queef
While standing on my head.
standing on my head.
Or even
great.
like continuously or
'Cause uncontrollably-
on command.
Sounds like it might be a problem.
It kind of, you know when you like let go of a balloon?
Yeah.
That's what I'm imagining in terms
Can
of
we
like
stop
uncontrol. A stop would be a control.
But I like if I turn you right side up, are you like a weird hourglass?
I assume so. It's like she just starts like recharging when you put her up proper.
I would love to know what a cartwheel looks like. And more
She
importantly,
gets halfway
sounds
through
like.
and then gets yeeted.
Yeah, it just fucking flies off. All right. Goodbye, Stephanie.
She's also a mechanic, so I don't know if that adds to it. I think it does. This is nameless. They're 35. They want something long term, but they're open to short. Not into hookups. What? Navy veteran. I'm not trying to date your fucking dog. Stop posting their pictures. If you post only group pictures, you're the ugly one. I don't know about tacos or how tall. I don't care about tacos or how tall you are. If you post your date meals, don't contact me. Ugly people need loving too, just not from me. Dudes that use filters, they're batting for the wrong team.
Whoa.
I'm convinced that dudes with multiple cats are undercover serial killers. Why the fuck are you wearing a mask in your pictures? Does your camera have COVID?
Cool. Can you just I want to take this in as like a visual thing. There's like it's like someone went to the red flag store and was just like, load her up.
Get them all.
Let's just get them all in the back of what I can only assume is the pickup truck you drive and just throw them on in there. No shade to people who drive pickup trucks.
It's pretty fucking beautiful. I like that all I know is that you suck shit and you're a Navy vet. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, like, the thing that, like, upsets me the most in all of this, and there's a lot, the cat line coming at me. I only have one.
You
at the
only have
moment.
one cat, though.
I do.
So you're safe.
But
for now.
most of my life, I have had
You fucking scary
multiple.
ass bastard.
But the thing that makes me mad is dudes that use filters are batting for the wrong team. Because there is presumably, in your mind, a right team.
Yeah, homophobia. From this guy? What a surprise.
Yeah. From a Navy vet?
Whoa, there's probably cool Navy vets out there. Especially in the Navy.
Yeah.
Ayo. It's going to be a -10 for me.
Yeah, I hate it.
This is my second last one. No name. For the sake of time efficiency for both parties, I accept contact exclusively from men who have completed law/medicine studies, daytime mode, plus completed internship/specialization. The possession of a diploma itself does not determine an appropriate level of intellectual independence of an individual. Exhibit A, sufficiently high intellectual, financial... Oh, they have to also exhibit A, sufficiently high intellectual/financial level and have clearly defined priorities.
What the fuck?
You guys like that?
How we like that, y'all? We love it.
She's not doing
People
it
are
for you?
scared. There's just a look. We just activated like 40 people in it.
Yeah, we've got a lot of reactions. This is the first time there was like this weird, intense kind of like, what?
Yeah, what just happened? What I
It
listened
did
to?
feel like I was one of those people sped up at the end of like a medicine commercial where it's like,
Yeah.
this is time efficiently for both parties. It's usually for men who have completed law medicine studies, daytime mode, and completed
the
specialty.
daytime mode.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
It feels like they're trying to sound really smart, but then they said daytime mode.
Yeah. And hey, maybe we're idiots. Maybe they are really smart.
All the doctors in the audience are like, yeah, dude, fucking daytime mode.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a fucking 0.
Yeah.
It's just shit. I don't know. Like, this is the anti-fun.
The best thing is what they're looking for is new friends. And let me tell you, if that's not going to get you a friend or two, I don't know what is. I've never seen a friendlier profile.
And this is the last one. This is a Hinge prompt. My most irrational fear, falling. I hate that shit. And then just a smiling, crying face.
How high do you think they're talking about?
I just assume they're very clumsy.
Yeah.
You just fall
Do
all
we
the
like
time.
this prompt?
I really I feel like we should start doing like tests where we read the same profiles in different orders at different shows. Because by the end, this is so good compared to the filth you've waded through.
It's true.
If I started, you'd probably be like,
You're like, yeah, what the fuck is that?
What do you? This is boring. Yeah. But now you're like, yes, I date the fuck out of this person.
This person can barely stand upright, and every time they fall, it's a queef show.
The dating apps are.
Hey,
Yes,
no, that's
a
fair.
queef show. Yeah, it's bad. We are nearing the end of our show. And first, we would like to say thank you to everyone who came out and supported us. Thank you for the people who didn't know this was a show and stayed.
Yeah, you
and hung
rock.
out. You guys are fucking kick-ass, and we love you. Thank you for our sub-bartenders, Jordy and Anga. You guys kicked ass. Thank you very much for subbing in. Because without them, you would all be sober, and we would not be funny.
Yeah. If anybody is going to be at Comicon on Friday, the 15th of March, we will be there doing a meet and greet. We will also be performing with our other podcast, No Quest for the Wicked, which is a sci-fi TTRPG podcast. So if you're there, please come. We got a show at noon. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're also going to be giving out dice at the booth.
Yes.
And that's going to be a blast. Again, Thank you all for coming. We do this show online on any podcast place you could think of. Every Monday, and we've got a lot of episodes out there. So give us a listen if this didn't ruin your day.
And we also do this every month. We don't know what our date for our next show is, but following us on Instagram or any social media is a great way to keep contact with that, or follow Black Sheep TO because they will also post about it.
Yep.
I think that
that's it. Then I send everybody off into the night with some bad sex writing. Today it's going to be brief. It's just going to be a news headline. And this is from the National Post. Are Sydney Sweeney's breasts double D harbingers of the death of woke?
We can only hope. Wow. What does that mean?
Her boobs are killing woke cultures. I guess. I can't even begin.
I will tell you one thing she's participated in that she killed. Madam Web and the Art of Cinema. Thank you very much, friends. My name is Dane Miller.
And I'm Niall Spain.
And we have been your fuck buddies.